We are gathered here today to break the silence about America's war on the poor. Tens of millions of people live in poverty in the richest nation in the world.
On Monday, protesters from across the state took to the streets of Olympia. They demanded action to end systemic poverty, racism, war, and ecological devastation. This group was part of the Poor People's Campaign, a nationwide effort led by a diverse coalition of faith leaders. This was the first day of the campaign, and they'll be taking over the Capitol every Monday for the next 5 weeks. This week they began their march at the state capitol and marched through the streets of downtown, holding down several intersections along the way. To find out more, I met with Reverend Bianca Davis-Lovelace. She's one of the leaders of the Washington Poor People's Campaign.
The Poor People's Campaign, a national call for a moral revival, is a continuation of the campaign that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King started 50 years ago. And unfortunately, he was not able to see that campaign fully launched because he was assassinated. So now we're taking it from 1960s, 1968 actually, to now 2018, 50 years later.
By the late 1960s, the civil rights movement had won several major victories, like the Civil Rights Act. At that time, Dr. King began to look beyond the reform movement, towards the deeper structural issues that kept people in poverty in spite of major legal reforms. He believed that the next task for his movement was to unite poor whites and people of color, launching the Poor People's Campaign. Today, the new Poor People's Campaign is trying to pick up where Dr. King left off.
So the Poor People's Campaign addresses 4 major issues. 1 is systemic racism, 2 is systemic poverty. Then we also address militarism and ecological devastation. We want to hold our elected officials accountable. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, you see people out here sleeping in tents. You see people who are struggling every day just to make it, just to have access to health care, and you're willing to take that away. What does it say about you that you're willing to allow people to be sick?
The Poor People's Campaign is calling on individuals and faith communities to get involved.
We're going to do 40 days of mass action in Olympia on the legislative steps. We're trying to focus on what is just, what is right. We're trying to start a moral revolution.
They'll be there every Monday at 2 p.m. for the next 5 Mondays. They're holding rallies and nonviolent direct actions. Trainings are held earlier in the day, 11 a.m. at First Christian Church.
We need Olympians very bad. We need you to donate food. Yes, if you could pack lunches and drop them off to First Christian Church or the United Churches of Olympia. We need Olympians to just really support us, come out and support, because we are there in your house.
On Monday, demonstrations took place in state capitals across the country, including Olympia. It's too early to say how this might really change society, but it's certainly shedding light on the deep-rooted connections between poverty and racism.
If everything goes as planned, this is set to be the biggest mass action in United States history.
For more information, visit poorpeoplescampaign.org. With democracy in action, this is Gabe Shelton-Jenck.